An unexpected Christmas visitor. Ron lay slumped in the armchair, snoring loudly enough to wake the dead, but not the dead drunk. A trickle of saliva ran from the corner of his mouth and down across his unshaven chin. The empty bottle of single malt lay discarded by his feet. There was no glass. Why waste time pouring from bottle to glass and then from glass to mouth? 3 a.m. on Christmas morning. Only 21 hours of this awful day to go, most of which he would hopefully sleep through. How he hated this so-called season of goodwill. The first adverts had appeared on television in September, becoming more and more frequent until by the end of November they'd taken over completely. People would spend money they did not have on presents that would largely be unwanted. Office parties would end up in drunken excesses, ill-advised liaisons, and plenty of morning after regrets. Enough food and drink would be bought to keep a small third world country going for 6 months, half of which would be thrown away before the new year was a week old. He hadn't always felt this way about Christmas. He remembered those from his childhood, the endless days of anticipation, then waking at a ridiculous time on Christmas morning only to be told to go back to bed because it was too early. Rummaging through the stocking full of goodies hanging at the foot of his bed before moving on to the pile of presents under the tree in the front room. Eating sweets and nuts and chocolate before breakfast, something he was never allowed to do any other time of the year. Then there were the Christmases when he had a young family of his own, enjoying his own children's excitement, indulging in a glass of champagne for breakfast, and sharing his time between helping Pamela in the kitchen and playing with a new toy or game. After the kids left home, he and Pamela took to going away for Christmas and letting someone else do all the work for a change. 6 years ago, Pamela died, and Christmas became an ordeal. His son and daughter-in-law invited him to stay the first 2 years, but that soon stopped. Drunken granddads stumbling into things and frightening the children was no fun to have around. Now he spent the day alone, wallowing in alcohol and memories. He was woken by the sound of angry words and someone struggling. Flipping chimneys. I keep saying never again, and I still keep doing it. A pair of legs, clad in black boots and bright red trousers, was thrashing around in all directions above the grate. The strained effort and choice language continued with increasing frustration until, with one last stream of expletives, Father Christmas landed with a thump and rolled out onto the hearthrug. Funny how the houses we are not supposed to go in always have the narrowest chimneys, he said, standing up and dusting himself down. Ron knew he was not dreaming. You don't have a sore head and a mouth like a pile of dried radish droppings in your dreams. So incredible as it seemed, he had to accept that what he had just seen had really happened. Unfortunately, shock and inebriation prevented him from coming up with any sort of intelligent response. Father Christmas, was all he could manage to say. Yes, I am a Father Christmas, or a Santa Claus, or a Saint Nick, or whatever you like to call us, but my name is Plyden, responded the visitor. A Father Christmas? You mean there's more than one of you? Of course. At the last census, just over 2 million. And where do you all live? At the North Pole. No, you don't. No one lives at the North Pole, let alone 2 million Father Christmases. No, you're right. But you would need an extremely advanced knowledge of physics to understand where we really live. So let's just leave it as the North Pole. What did you mean about houses you weren't supposed to go in? Asked Ron. We're only allowed to go into the homes of believers, replied Plyden. Why? That's the rules. The Father Christmas who visits the most homes between midnight and 5 a.m. where at least one believer lives is the winner. Winner of what? The most homes visited between midnight and 5 a.m. where at least one believer lives race, of course. This was all becoming just a little too confusing for Ron. So, you're telling me there really is a Father Christmas, and you really visit our homes at Christmas, but only for some pointless competition. Correction. There really are Father Christmases, and it's not pointless. It's a tradition of our culture. But there are no practical benefits. And your people don't have similar traditions. Why do you light a big fire and set off fireworks on bonfire night? And why do you go around trick-or-treating on Halloween? Ron had to concede the argument. All right, okay. So how about chimneys then? Hardly any houses have chimneys these days. How do you get inside them? Plyden looked a bit sheepish. Well, We don't actually come down chimneys, that's just one of your myths. But I like to do it now and again just for the laugh. So how do you get in? Transglomic plantification. Trans what? Advanced physics again, I'm afraid. Ron had heard enough. I need a drink, he said, heading towards a cabinet on the other side of the room. No, you don't. That's why I'm here, said Plyden. Pardon? I'm not going to win the race. I'm too far behind, thanks to another chimney I got stuck in earlier. So I figured I'd help a few folk out. I don't need your help. Yes, you do. Look at you, alone and drunk on Christmas Day. You should be with your family. My family don't want me. Your family don't want the drunken self-pitying you, but your children want their father, and your grandchildren want their granddad. So why are you here on your own instead of with them? This is a time of celebration and happiness. It's not been the same since Pamela died. What if it had been you that died? Do you think Pamela would be sitting here alone, soaked in alcohol and feeling sorry for herself? No. She would be mourning her loss, but she would still be getting on with life, enjoying the rest of her family. And if she did behave like you wouldn't be very pleased, would you? Well, I wouldn't know if she was, since I don't believe in the afterlife, said Ron stubbornly. You didn't believe in Father Christmas until 10 minutes ago. So there is an after, Ron started to say, but stopped when he saw the look on Plyden's face. OK, I know, advanced physics. You'll find out all in good time, said Plyden. In the meantime, how about concentrating on this life? Get some sleep, and then go visit your family. There are still believers in that home, and they would welcome another one. He walked towards the fireplace, then hesitated. Forget it. I'm not tackling that chimney again. You shouldn't be allowed to see this, but I don't care. It's Christmas. Plyden slowly started to break up into thousands of pieces, which then disappeared before Ron's astonished eyes. Advanced physics in action were the last words he heard from his unexpected Christmas visitor.